Hi everyone, in this video I am going to discuss about industrial drives and applications module 5. So module 5 having three subtopics. First one is synchronous motor drives and second one is stepper motor drives. Third one is industrial drives. So first we will see the introduction of synchronous motor drives. Synchronous motor drives are constant speed drives. So this speed we cannot vary easily. So to control the synchronous motor drives we have different techniques by using frequency or by using voltage or by using load. So we can control the synchronous motor speed. So here in introduction, the speed of the synchronous motor can be controlled by varying the frequency of its source. Due to non-availability of economical variable frequency source, this method of speed control was not used in the past. So frequency is fixed supply, so some of the applications it is not applicable. So synchronous motors are mainly used in constant speed applications. The development of semiconductor variable frequency sources such as inverter and cycloconverter has allowed their as in variable speed applications such as high power and high speed comparators, blowers, induced and forced draft fans, main line tractions, servo drivers, etc. So here to control the speed of the induction motor, here we are using the semiconductor variable frequency sources like inverter, cycloconverter we are using, and we are controlling the synchronous motor speed, right. So applications if you see, so these synchronous motor drives we are using in high power and high speed compressors, blowers, induced and forced draft fans, main line tractions, servo drivers, etc. So in this first topic is operation from fixed frequency supply. So here the motor always runs at constant. So the operation of the induction motor, so we can vary by using the air gap flex, right. So for any speed other than synchronous speed, the relative speed between the air gap flex wave and rotor is not zero. Consequently, delta varies from 0 to 360 degrees. So here in this synchronous mode, the torque is fluctuated from positive and negative values, but its average value remains 0. Frequency of the torque fluctuations depends on the relative speed between the air gap flex wave, which rotates at synchronous speed and the rotor. So rotor is at a standstill, the frequency is too high. Okay, the rotor is brought closer to synchronous speed by some starting and DC field excitation. The process pulling rotor into step with the rotating field is called pull in. So pull in is a very important term. So for upcoming also you will see about pull in. Pull in means the rotor is brought closer to synchronous speed. The rotor rotation is equal to synchronous speed, simply we can say. So how we are taking the rotor speed into synchronous speed is by some starting and DC field excited. So by using DC excitation, we are keeping rotor speed equal to synchronous speed, that is called pull in or synchronization, right. So coming to the starting, so the purpose of starting method is to bring rotor speed closer to synchronous speed. So here we have some of the methods. So by using those methods, you are keeping rotor speed closer to synchronous speed. The first one we will see. The starting torque and current can be increased and reduced respectively by increasing the damper winding resistance. So during acceleration as induction motor, because of large number of turns in field winding, the induced voltage in the field winding may reach several thousand volts, thus over stressing the insulation of the winding and increasing the voltage rating of the field supply converter. So here by using the damper windings resistance and by using field winding, so we can keep the rotor speed nearly equal to the synchronous speed. So next one, DC excitation should not be applied during acceleration as an induction motor, because of while it is produce no net motoring torque. So this is the one of the method. And next method is when rotor has silent pole construction. The damper winding can have conductors only over the pole, or this leads to dip in the speed torque curve at half of synchronous speed. So we have two types of synchronous motors. One is silent pole, another one is non-silent pole. Suppose non-silent pole type rotors, the damper winding can have conductors only over the pole arc. Since poles are projected outside of the rotor, that's what. So poles, the damper windings can have within the pole arc. So this leads to dip in the speed torque curve, right. So when started will full supply voltage, if we apply, the starting current may be 7 to 10 times of full load value. So we need to reduce the starting current. So by that we can protect the synchronous motor. So except in small size motors, such a high starting current causes fluctuations in supply voltage. In case of large motors, such as high starting current may causes large drop in the terminal voltage. So this is the problems. So we need to overcome by using different methods. Next one is pull in. Pull in is the process begins when the field supply is switched in. When the pull in takes place at no load or light loads. No load or light loads. Field supply can be switched in without regards to the value of torque angle at the instant of switching. This may gives rise to considerable distribution in line currents during the pull-in process. So pull-in already we have discussed the rotor speed equal to the synchronous speed. So when faster pull-in desired to pull-in condition in somewhere near critical owing the substantial load on the motor. The field is excited at the most favorable angle when running at top speed as a induction motor. Rotor speed will be less than the synchronous speed. The rotor may slip several poles of air gap flex wave before reaching synchronous speed. So this is about faster pull-in. So next one is the torque will be negative. Delta is varies from 0 to 180 degrees. Next one we will see the transient due to load distribution. So this is one of the important factor, transient. So next one, in this steady state stability limit, we have a formula. T is equal to power by angular velocity, that is equal to torque. If we substitute, finally torque is equal to T max into sine delta. So delta may varies from 0 to 360 degrees. So here we will see the torque speed characteristics. Delta is equal to 90 degrees. So delta is equal to 90 degrees. The torque will be maximum. Delta is increases to 180 degrees. The torque will reduce to 0. So we can observe in this graph. So this is about torque speed, torque delta. Next one, dynamic stability. So if a load torque TL is applied suddenly, the motor may lose synchronism even if the load torque is less than maximum torque that the motor can develop. When load torque is changed suddenly, whether the motor will retain synchronism or not can be determined by examining of the dynamic behavior of the motor. So here we are when load conditions are changes, so they may lose the synchronism, and also they may reduce the speed will reduce. So those things how we can observe is by using dynamic stability. So dynamic stability will have torque T, T max, T is equal to TA plus TD plus TL, right? So load torque, dynamic torque and acceleration torque. So acceleration torque TA is equal to kj d square delta by dt square. Damping torque kd d delta by dt square. These formulas you after substituting you will get finally equation 2. So equation 2 is a non-linear differential equation. It can be solved numerically to obtain variation of delta with time, and thus the dynamic stability of motor load system, right? So next one, so braking. So in next video we'll see, right? Thank you.